to them. The all-seeing guys. The all-seeing guys. With Greg and Joe. The all-seeing guys. The all-seeing guys. Greg and Joe.
Hello, welcome to episode 249 of the All Seeing Guys podcast with Greg and Joe. I, of course, am Greg, and I'm joined, as always, over the Scap waves by Who Are You?
Obviously, it's Joe Jackson in effect and stuff.
It's obviously Joe Jackson, in effect, ain't stuff. Can you
And
believe
stuff.
it? Ain't stuff. Holy shit.
Yeah, live and direct. That's what I meant to say. Live and direct.
Yeah.
Another thing.
How are you on this Sunday evening?
I'm all right. Yeah, you know, it's chilly. It's a bit of a cold one.
It
but
has been a cold one.
It has been a cold one, but yeah, it's been good, man. Just a chill weekend. I've been playing a game all weekend. In all honesty, not like a board game, but
Right,
like,
or realise I'm mugging someone off.
no, yeah. I've just been trolling people online for the whole weekend.
Yeah. It's a right game.
So they've released like the beta of this game called Monster Hunter Wilds. Which
Oh,
is a part
right, yeah, I
the
heard of
series.
this. Yeah.
So I got the beta because the game that I have been playing, which is very, very similar, all of the developers got fired, so it's probably going to be closing down very soon.
What game
so-
was that you were playing?
It was called Dauntless. It was very much the same,
right.
but it was just like a bit, I guess, a more child-esque sort of version.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so I've been playing that all weekend because it's only a beta until Monday. But it's good. I'm enjoying it. It's good fun. But yes, my productivity has been absolutely dog shit. Apart from
Fuck
just
it. It's
being
fine.
at work.
That's all good. That's all
Being
good.
at work. How was yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Was at work today. It was busy. Nothing major going on since last episode. Yeah, I turned 41.
Yes,
Had a week off work.
many happy returns.
Thank you. Didn't go crazy or anything. It was pretty low key. I did go out for a bit of a day drink with Ed. That was good fun.
Yeah, I was annoyed that I had to fucking work because I would have loved
Yeah,
to have come
we
along.
didn't make it out of Surbiton, but
Yeah.
we actually did cover quite a few Surbiton pubs, I'd say.
That's good.
Well, I think we did 4, but we had like more than 1 in each.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Not bad. Not bad going.
and then we kind of finished up in the Duke. Is it the Duke? No, the one opposite the Victoria. I think it might be.
Yeah,
the
I
Duke.
think that is the
Can't
Duke.
remember. Which is expensive, but we had really nice, big, comfy armchairs by the window, so it was
not
really
bad.
good people
Yeah,
watching.
Good people watch. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, we were watching one couple in particular who were obviously having a bit of a Barney, and I'll have one of their Geezedrops to present in the segment, Geezedropping. But they had a bit of a Barney, and the guy just kept kind of like, he was like running in and out of this parked car with his missus. They kept getting in, arguing, getting out. Then he'd disappear for a while. Then he'd come back with like food, get in, argue again, get out. We couldn't hear what they were arguing at the time. We moved pubs during it, and it was still happening. We could still see them. We got a better vantage point from the Duke.
Nice.
That was good, but we had pizza at the Antelope because pizza at the Antelope's good.
Yeah, it's always decent.
And then during the week, I was uptown and I went to Pilgrim's Pizza for the first time.
Oh yeah.
I'd always see it when I went through that phase of watching all those Deliveroo videos in London. People were always delivering it. It was good. It was really nice.
I've been there myself. There was the it's just off Carnaby Street. There's a little. I think we've been there for burgers before.
Yeah,
And,
there's the little one in there. Well, I
yeah,
went to the one just by Waterloo.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it
That
was
is-
nice.
that's
Really,
very
yeah,
nice,
really
very
good
nice.
pizza. Yeah, really good pizza. I did have another pizza from somewhere as well. I ordered a pizza from quite far. It was in Worcester Park. It's like a barbecue place. I basically really wanted ribs. I was
Yeah.
really fancied ribs. And the only place that kind of had decent ones, to me, looked like this place. That wasn't like a random kebab shop. So this was like a proper barbecue restaurant, Bonkers.
Yeah, I was going to say,
called.
I don't know if I would trust kebab shop ribs.
No. So this was a proper barbecue place, like it's a restaurant. I've seen it. I've been in Worcester Park. I've witnessed it. Ordered that, and I was like, well, I just don't want to order portion of ribs, so I tried one of their pizzas, and you know what? It was really fucking nice. Like it was the ribs were great as well.
Nice.
But the pizza was also surprisingly really fucking good.
Yeah.
So yeah, beers and pizza basically was
Nice.
my week off.
Well, as we speak, Becca's made dough today, so we're making pizzas.
Ooh.
But we're gonna do white pizzas for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Like, so like with a white sauce.
Yeah, so when I order from Mickey's,
Yeah.
because they're off Just Eat now, you just go for their website. Every time you order a pizza, they always give you the option of white or tomato sauce.
Yeah. It's good.
And I've never even thought, because I love their homemade tomato sauce so fucking much. I've never thought to differ from that.
Well, so we, whenever it's like Italian week in Lidl, they do this range of pizzas, and one of them's like a white pizza with ham and pesto, and it's it's really fucking good, and it's a really good base as well. So whenever they're in, we'll always buy like 4 of them just to keep the freezer stocked up because they're so fucking good. But yeah, so Becca had been given a starter for sourdough anyway, so she'd been making sort of like loaves and stuff, and then she suggested about doing white pizzas, so that's what we're doing tonight. And she's made a white sauce from scratch, and it's fucking banging.
Nice.
Like garlic and parmesan.
That's good.
And, from a roux, like it's it's good. But she has just absolutely blown me out by like making a far better pizza dough than I was doing.
Dun dun dun.
Amateurish, just amateurish. I'm too impatient for it to be like perfect, so mine's kind of squarish. But hers looks great. I'm sure it's going to be great. So got that to look forward to after this.
Great, fucking A. I don't know what I have to look forward to after this. Maybe I'll see if I'll eat something. Who knows?
What part of the cow will you be eating this evening, Greg?
Who fucking knows? I didn't really do a huge amount also my week off. Just kind of chilled out a bit. I didn't even really watch. I can't think of anything I watched. Did I watch anything? Oh, I watched the Robin Williams monkey film.
Oh yeah,
randomly.
I heard about that.
Randomly.
It's fucking weird. Like
it is
so
weird.
Fucking
The
weird.
thing is, I think I have no interest in Robbie Williams. Obviously, no real interest in his music, but I do like a musical, and I did enjoy Greatest Showman. It's the same writer director, so I was quite interested to see what it was like. And I, to be fair, I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like going in with no interest in Robbie Williams, you kind of forget it's an ape. Like quite soon into it in a weird way.
Yeah.
I know it.
So like the first time you see Gollum and you forget it's CGI.
Yeah, but it was pretty fucking good CGI. Like it's CGI, but it's really impressive. Like you just forget after a while.
Yeah.
But that was quite interesting. Quite enjoyed that. It was definitely a one watch, that one, but I quite enjoyed it. It was okay.
just to tick it off the box.
Yeah, it was alright. I mean, there wasn't enough story there for it to, even though it wasn't long, really. I don't think there was really enough story there for it to have been like a full film.
Yeah,
because that really happens. It kind of skips over Take That, because it's not about Take That. It's about Robbie Williams.
Yeah. And most of the fun stuff happened after he was in Take That. Let's face it.
It's quite funny when he first meets the Gallaghers and they're just shit to him straight away.
Yeah, I mean they were obviously.
That's pretty good.
The Gallaghers are known to be cunts for the majority.
Yeah, and the
of
whole
their
thing
lives.
with Nicole Appleton, I didn't really know about with them too. So that was quite interesting. But yeah, no, it's really weird when you see him interacting with, especially with females, and he is an ape.
Yeah.
It's not like you see him fucking or anything, but like it's heavily implied.
I'm sure.
So that was good fun. And obviously, being the geek that I am, I have actually thoroughly been enjoying, which I didn't give a fuck about until I saw a clip on YouTube, and now I've watched all of it so far. The new Disney Plus Spider-Man cartoon. Really into it. Like,
really?
Like I keep messaging Sam, like to be like, "Oh my god, it's just really, really good." Really enjoying that.
Sorry, I have heard of that. Yeah, it's
it's
I
really
think
good.
I saw clips of it on fucking Instagram or TikTok or something.
Just enjoy it. Considering it hasn't been some great offerings from Marvel of late, I'm really thoroughly enjoying this. So that's pretty much it. Very uneventful.
We've had quite a few watches recently. Arrival we watched. I can't remember if I mentioned
said that in the last podcast. The last
we
episode.
watched. We got like a bunch of suggestions through on like we've realised we've just absolutely rinsed Netflix, so we haven't been on it, and there's nothing on there we want to watch. Got bored of Squid Game after 2 episodes.
I haven't started it.
Yeah, I'm sure I think it's probably going to be the same as the last one, where it's like, get past episode 3 and all the fun starts happening, and we just can't fucking do it. It was cool, like the ones that we saw, but I'm just like, I'm alright. We watched a bunch of like random shit. They were getting sent like loads of stuff about Trump and like fucking things like that. But we something we wanted to watch. We started watching a Stanley Kubrick documentary last night on Amazon.
About him or about the making of The Shining?
About the making of The Shining, but
I've seen it.
Not the original one. Not the original.
Not the one that's like 4 hours long.
No, not
whatever
that
it is.
This is all to do with Stanley Kubrick directing The Shining and A Clockwork Orange, and how they're sort of underlining tones of MK Ultra, and like it's like a complete conspiracy documentary. And then we were like halfway through watching it, and then we were just like, I really want to watch The Shining now. Like, and it was so we tried to find it, but we had to fucking buy it. So we draw the line at purchasing things from Amazon that were already paid for.
For sure.
We ended up watching. We watched it, and then it's sort of like halfway through, it just cuts and just stops being a Stanley Kubrick documentary, and it's just like there's a guy there talking about he used to be a maybe in a band or something, and then he quit and became an author, and he like researches like the hidden meanings in like entertainment and movies and music and stuff like that.
Right, yeah, okay.
And it's this whole massive bit about like Catcher in the Rye being like this MK Ultra
I've heard that about that.
Yeah, because it's mentioned. There's a thing that pops up in it about how the guy who killed John Lennon was found reading a copy of Catcher in the Rye after he killed John Lennon.
Yes.
And then there was another event as well where someone had referenced or had a copy of Catcher in the Rye on them. There's a few various sort of things. So it was quite interesting in that sort of conspiracy element, and they point out a lot of things in The Shining that I wasn't aware of, and like symbolism and hidden sort of things in there, and but yeah, it's and also they go into the whole backstory of like how Stephen King and Kubrick didn't get on and that. So it is quite a good watch. But still, now I just want to watch The Shining. So.
It's weird because that one I watched that was like 4 or 5 hours long. That also covered a lot of that.
That's the official. Yeah, that's the official
as
one.
well. Yeah, it covered a lot of that as well. It wasn't like it covered all. It didn't hide away. It covered all of that as well. It was really interesting documentary. Obviously years ago, I remember. But I remember I watched the whole thing in one sitting in the end, and it was really good.
Yeah, there's apparently
really
because I think The Shining was Kubrick's 11th movie. So there's like apparently loads of references to 11 in there. The twins are supposed to symbolise the number 11.
Yes.
The lighting or the lights inside the dining room are all sort of long, like 2 strips. Yep. So it looks like there's a bunch of stuff. It's cool. It's that's what we're watching.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, fucking hell, yeah. Well, yeah, finish it, I guess.
yeah.
And then watch The Shining.
Yeah. Oh no, that's been finished. We're just waiting on The Shining now.
All right. I enjoy the story of The Shining and everything that surrounds it more than the actual film. If I'm being honest, it has some awesome key moments in it, but I do find it quite boring overall. The Shining.
It's one of
its moments, but there is a bit where it's,
there's obviously the whole sort of debate about is it a horror movie, and it's just like there's horror elements, but I wouldn't particularly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would say it was more of like a thriller than a horror movie. But I guess the whole psychotic axe wielding maniac makes it a horror movie, I guess. I do like as well that they say like, the whole plot of The Shining is given away in the first like 20 minutes. So there's just some guy who's just like, the previous caretaker went crazy, killed his whole family, like
killed them all. There's actually I don't think it was in the book, but they did it in the film of Ready Player One when they visit that scene of The Shining when the woman's in the bathtub, and then they all get washed down the fucking hallway from the blood out the lift.
I've been meaning to rewatch Ready Player One because I really enjoyed that, and I'm kind of gutted that they didn't do more with it because it was
weird that one because it was so different to the book that I loved.
Yeah,
but this film's so different. The first couple of times I watched it, I was like, I'm a bit disappointed. But I've gone back a couple of years later and revisited it, and actually I do quite enjoy it for what it is now.
I think it's fucking great.
For what it is, I do quite enjoy it for what it is now.
Yeah.
Fucking A. Geezedropping. She's some geezedropping.
I got some geezedropping. You got some geezedropping?
I've got a couple. We're snippets. I read conversation heard by you, us. Read about context. What have you heard? What did you hear? Geezedropping.
Geezedropping. Having a listen.
Do you want to start with?
Yeah,
with,
Top Shagger
with
Top Shagger sent me a couple of dingers. He sent me this one. He said, in a pub in Brighton, table full of women in their 50s. Let's get fucking on it. Down it, you shit.
Down it, you shit.
He sent me that, and I responded immediately. It was just like, you need to follow them, or at least keep tabs on them for the rest of the night, because they're going to be gold. He sent me a message like half an hour later saying they got kicked out. They got kicked out and then started kicking off about a lost phone or something, calling everyone cunts. And I was just like, wow, Jesus. He also sent me this one. Not sure where he heard it, but it just says, mate, I'd do a 5 stretch for her.
Jesus.
He would commit an offence.
Yeah, it sounds
that
like
results
it,
in a 5-year sentence for that woman.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Was that the 2 you had?
That is the 2. Thank you very much, Luke.
Thanks, Top
Appreciate
Shagger.
it.
I'll do Fran's next. Fran sent this one. If only this picture round was on page 3 models from the 1980s. If only this picture round was on page 3 models from the 1980s. That'd be some key drawing. Saying that just reminded me, yesterday Indiana asked me how old I was in the 1900s.
You can still, I mean...
Yeah.
That covers an entire century, Greg, so technically you would have been up to and including 16.
Yeah, I'd be doing good.
Yeah.
My geese trip I heard was so when me and Ed were watching that couple from the Duke have their on-off argument. We were originally in the garden right by the gate of the Victoria, and that's where they pulled up, and we heard them shouting in the car. And then the car opened, and the car was like, "Well done! You paid £2. I paid for the fucking pizza, which was a tenner." And they slammed the door and walked off.
I wonder how long that argument had actually been going on for.
Oh,
because it feels like days. It feels like just days and days of just shouting at each other.
Something was happening. Something was going on
There are a couple that have built up all of these, like, they've not had an argument for like 7 years. And then it's all just come to a head and everything's now coming out.
Yeah, it's all there. Yeah,
at the moment, they're only on about 2017 and they've still got like another thing. They're really getting through it. They're just like, if we're going to do this, we're going to fucking do it. Right.
All right, let's... Wait, he was like back and forth. Wait, for like, we had... I think we'd finished our beer in Victoria, went to the Duke, had 2 beers there. By the time we finished our second, they'd not long eventually driven away. But she kept moving... But every time he'd get out, she would like move the car forward or back quite a distance. She was going to hide. I don't know what she was doing. She was obviously a bit... And he also got out and he walked into like a doorway of the flats for like a second and then came out and was, as if you'd taken the wrong turning to get to the high street. He looked all like, where am I going? Oh, this way. It's like, well, obviously that's not the way. That's someone's front door. It's just a weird, erratic behaviour from the pair of them. Being honest.
If you'd just seen like a 3-second glimpse of this, you wouldn't have thought much of it. But because you're sat down and you've had multiple angles of this going on, you're questioning every single fucking thing they do.
Yes. Yeah, question all of it. Yeah,
question it. Question everything, Greg.
Oh, we weren't even. We're just watching. We weren't even trying to theorise what was on. Maybe I can't remember. We might have theorised. Who knows? But it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Should be short on geese drops today. I have a bit of a random... So I had another... Again, I keep having stuff prepped, but then I keep coming across other stuff that sparks my interest.
No, that's good.
This I came across today, and basically, it's a bizarre list, but I found it pretty interesting. It's people describing the creepiest things they've seen families do, and these families think it's normal to do this.
Oh, right. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Right. So the first one's quite easygoing to ease us into it. So the first one is simply... A lot of these are from Reddit and what have you. This one was... I was babysitting for a girl and noticed weird furs on her bed. She explained to me very matter-of-factly that they were her cats. Her parents skinned her pet cats after they died, presumably of natural causes, and put the pelts on her bed. That was the only time I babysat for them.
Yeah. You're going to end up a fucking pelt. That's why, if you do it any fucking longer.
Yeah.
That's not normal anywhere, man.
No, that's not normal.
That's not normal at all.
No, I don't think any of these are going to be normal. But that one, that's a nice, easy
That's
like style.
bordering.
Just
That's
like
bordering. What as a starter? That's bordering on peculiar.
Yeah, just a bit of cat hair on your bed from your dead cat that they've skinned.
So
I mean, that's the weirdest part. It's not even the fact they put the hair on the child's bed. I think it's the fact they skinned their fucking dead cats.
Just making a cat blanket or something. Like, that is weird.
Okay, right. Let's go into this one. I hung out and played with these 3 siblings. They were all pretty normal kids. But the mum seemed kind of clingy. During the summer, we would play outside a lot. Baseball, hockey, go-kart, swimming, the norm. Every single day about 12 p.m. 12 p.m? Yeah, that's right. I got confused about my AM and PMs. Every single day about 12 p.m, the mum would call the kids back to the house one at a time. They would go inside for about half an hour and then would come out while the next kid would go in. Never thought too much about it until one day I was actually in the house with them and found out why she called them in. She had mandatory cuddle time with each of the kids. They would lie on the couch and she would spoon them in quiet for about 30 minutes each. Weirdest thing I've ever encountered.
Oh, that's too much. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's completely harmless. Like, don't get me wrong, that is completely harmless and, a bonding exercise. But nah.
Most parents are like, I'm glad my kids are playing out. Actually, I'm going to call them in.
Imagine, obviously, because they had company, she skipped ringing the cuddle bell.
Yeah.
Cuddle time!
Cuddles up! My turn! Yeah, no, I've never really come across anything like that.
It would have been, what would have been even weirder is if she'd then included the guest child. Just because of
your turn. You think you're getting away with this?
Just like, I'm not getting cuddled by a complete stranger. Not a complete stranger, but still someone that isn't a parent.
I'm not lying on the sofa while you spoon me.
Yeah.
As a child.
Yeah.
But one at a time in for their half-hour spoon session. I mean, as a kid, you'd be so like,
half an hour. That's half an hour.
God, Indiana got up the other day at 5:30, and I'm like, Indiana, it's too early. You can't have the TV on till 6. Just lie down with me and have a nap. So she got into bed with me, and I guess I was spooning her, but it literally wasn't a half-hour sleep. It was her every 2 minutes being like, "What time is it? Is it time yet? What time?" It's like,
I was that kid.
Yeah, well, we all were, but as an adult, I'm just like, "Oh, Indiana, please, you must be tired."
Yeah, come on.
But no. Okay, this one.
Time to increase her bedtime time, mate.
This was my aunt's experience. It was back in the 1950s when my aunt was a teenager. She was hired by a couple to babysit. She never babysat for this couple before, but she was impressed because they were fairly wealthy and lived in a big house. The 2 small children, around 5 and 6, were well dressed and well behaved. My aunt spent the day with them, fed them, played with them, etc. That evening, she got them ready for bed. The parents were due back later that night. My aunt heard sounds coming from an upstairs closet. The children were in bed asleep. She opened the closet and found the crib, and in the crib was a baby. Both the crib and the baby were filthy. I think my aunt woke up the children and asked them about the baby, but their answers were vague. I don't recall my aunt having any luck getting information about the baby from the 2 older children. My aunt cleared the baby up, she washed the bedding, and I remember her telling me that the baby didn't really make much sound other than little grunts and had drawn little attention to her. She probably tried to feed the baby, but I don't remember that part of the story. According to my aunt, the parents came home, paid her, thanked her, took the baby, and the dad drove her home. She never babysat for them again, and she has no idea what happened to the baby. There was a story like that recently, wasn't there?
I was really just transformed back to the 1800s with that one. There was just something very Victorian about that story.
The way the children were well behaved, well dressed.
But also just because there was a kid in a cupboard for some reason. I was like, this has got to be the 1800s.
I swear there was a story like that recently, wasn't there, where they found a baby in a dirty crib. I swear it was in the news recently, sort of similar sort of story.
Probably something, yeah.
That's fucking... Oh, you hear a lot of stories like that, but just leaving that's bizarre. Thinking no one would know.
Yeah.
And not even... And obviously not even seeing that phase that she'd found the baby, washed it and cleaned it and they changed the bedding.
And people, if they'd come home and just be like, oh, God, now we've got to start getting this kid all dirty again.
God, we've gone all this way. God, that bloody babysitter. I'm not giving her a tip.
We haven't washed this thing in fucking 3 months.
Since it came out.
Since it came out.
This next one I read earlier, and this one's weird. I knew a girl in high school whose parents were obsessed with dinner plates. They had a huge collection of collectible plates in their house that every room was full of them on display. The entire house was basically a library set up for these things. Her bedroom was a mattress on the floor surrounded by display cases of plates. You couldn't even lean on any wall. They were all like this. The last time I went over there, I knocked one off the wall by mistake, and I caught it, and it didn't even break. But my God, the rage her dad flew into was fucking horrifying. He was inches away from punching me. I never went back. They tried to nervously laugh it off like, haha, good old dad being funny. The one time I asked my friend why they had so many, she went on a passionate tangent about all the cool plates they had and why they were so awesome. It went on for over an hour. I never asked again because hearing about neat dishware for an hour was like torture. That child's being conditioned into loving and appreciating plates.
There is obviously people that have like fine china and stuff like that, but like not a whole collection.
Yeah.
I'm imagining that person holding like several plates like in their like toes, like a cartoon. Yeah, like holding just like different like oh god, like
Man,
trying to catch all the falling crockery.
I hope they don't live in a earthquake part. I get assume it's America.
God,
I know we have high school here, but the way they say high school, it reads like it's America.
Yeah, I hope you live in a stabilised house. No, we live in Oklahoma, the highest tornado.
Obviously, very passionate about plates. Fuck, man.
Yeah. I wonder what their favourite plate is.
Well, maybe the one the guy almost broke.
Could be. It's just like it's probably worth.
Literally, the dad was inches away from punching me. Fuck. Jesus Christ, that's some intense plate love.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Adolf Hitler's cutlery fetches a fair price, so you know.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. This one here. All right, here we go. Something that I have witnessed for years and only begun to hit me as the realisation slowly unfolded. A family that I visited frequently, all adult children who still live with their parents, would coincidentally always have the same movie on every single time I visited. All huddled round. I thought they were watching it for the first time. Once, when I actually stayed over for a longer duration, the TV was finally turned off, and when the movie ended, only to be turned on again with the play button pressed for the same movie. I finally realised that this movie is watched multiple times a day, every single day, almost like a ritual, and all the members of the family react the same way to the same scene repeatedly if they've never seen it before. For those asking what movie, it was called Just Ask My Children. It's about a couple accused of child exploitation.
That's fucking weird. Like
that is weird.
That's like I don't know. That weird. Is like we have to pretend that's alien shit. That's like
a
oh my
self-enforced Groundhog Day.
We're having a visitor. We have to pretend to be human. Quickly turn on the television.
Quickly put on this child abuse film, and we were just at least make it fucking Paddington 2 or something. Jesus.
Well, if you had to convince people that you were a human, what movie would you put on?
If I had to convince them I was human, oh my god, Star Wars probably.
That's good actually, because no one will think it. No one will think like, oh, this alien's showing me this fucking home video.
Yeah,
all of
exactly.
A sudden.
Yeah. Why is this alien showing me Independence Day?
Yeah.
He's not an alien. He must be human. Ignore the antennas.
This is our vacation to New York in the early 90s. As you can see, there was much destruction. I'd probably put on something like Jurassic Park. I think.
Yeah, good shout.
Because then they'll just be like, well, at least he's not a dinosaur. As I struggle in my human suit.
Well, actually, I just realised there's actually how many of these there are, so I won't do all.
It's Reddit, dude, of course.
Yeah. Well, I'm not reading it directly off Reddit. I'm reading it on like a list that's been put together somewhere else. But yeah, they are from a lot of Redditors.
I do find Ask Reddit is usually a good location.
Whenever the father would come home from work or some errand, every family member would greet him by the door. Then they would stand around silently for a minute or so, blankly staring into space as if they were thinking about their next move. Then the father would go sit in the same spot and they would follow and sit down. There was absolute dead silence during dinner time, and they would always eat the exact same meal each night. The mother, who also saved the children's dried off belly buttons, a small piece of umbilical cord that dries and falls off, and every tooth that fell out was that or had been extracted. The children's hairs were tied into knots or braids and hung around multiple parts of the house. That's fucking.
That is fucking.
That's like a dad that doesn't really care. And obviously runs that household with an iron fist, which is probably why everyone knows exactly what to do, the routines to follow, and to stay quiet. But the mum's probably a bit more clingy onto that, more attached to the children than the dad sounds like she is, so she's just keeping all their bits and bobs.
That's fucking... Oh.
That is weird.
Keeping all their bits and bobs that fall off them, apparently.
That is a bit fucking weird. Oh my god.
I remember when I was younger, and I got my finger stuck in the car door when it shut, and in a panic pulled my finger out, which obviously then made my fingernail go black and fall off.
Yeah.
I did keep that fingernail for a very long time.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Wear it around your neck?
No, I was just like, I wonder what's going to happen more to that. And then it just started to curl, and I was like, okay, we get rid of that now.
Because you know, like in films and shows, when there's hunters and they have like their teeth for work souvenirs and things they've killed, and they have
like Crocodile Dundee's got a whole fucking ring of them around his neck.
Imagine how like mental you probably look with like the first one. Why have you got a tooth strapped to your chest?
One tooth.
Well, I've just started.
One tooth.
That's what I imagine you, the one
time.
toenail on your neck. Ah, yes.
I feel like if it was like a crocodile's tooth on a necklace, with just one of them would be good.
Yeah. That might look cooler.
That'd be good.
I have an ex whose family would literally burn any meat they cooked for dinner. Chicken, fish, steak, all completely burnt. They were terrified about bacteria on their food. I got them to cook my steak medium well, less burnt but still above well. Once, but I got some serious looks of disgust. The mother also forced me to draft a living will and instructed me on the proper way to seal a room and protect what? The mother also forced me to draft a living will and instructed me on the proper way to seal a room to protect from very likely chemical attack and duct tape and plastic sheeting. That was written weirdly, but basically, like,
I can't
that's
believe people. I can't. That's like not living. You're not. You're so fucking
it's not,
scared.
Is it? No,
like,
no. There was a guy who used to come in Summerfield, and I used to see him on the bus quite a lot. He was a proper germaphobe. And all his cards in his wallet were wrapped in cling film. So you'd have to unwrap the cards, whatever. Whenever you got on a bus, everything he had would be wrapped in cling film. And he would freak out about... He would wrap it around his hands before touching bowls. Like, he just wouldn't touch stuff. He wouldn't sit... He'd put some on the seat to sit down if you saw him. Like, really. Like, and he was dirty, though, which was weird. Like, he was dirty. And, like, he smelt bad. Maybe he was sparing us, but he obviously was... And I remember seeing him. I remember meeting Lee once to walk to work at the end of his road, and he was there literally cleaning the payphone.
Oh my god!
I don't think he even used it.
No, yeah,
just gave it a quick wipe down on the receiver and then walked off. Yeah,
it is. It's. I mean, you know what? I mean, I understand it. Like, you know, germs are germs and stuff like that. You know, you don't want to spread them around if you've got people in your family that are ill or whatever. But like at the same time, like there's a limit.
Yeah. There is a fucking limit to that shit. This is just talking about people that would go through the phone book and cross out people who had died. I've heard about that before, updating the phone book. That used to be a bit of an old classic.
Yeah.
Not that everyone would do it,
they still
but
do
I've come
like
across that in my
obituaries in
life
papers
before.
in America and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
updating the phone book.
Are obituaries like a thing here still, or
I don't. I mean, you choose to do them. You can. I think you can. I think there are some papers or you can do, or websites you can do them on still.
Yeah.
But probably people sit there with the obituaries in the paper. It's a very American thing with the obituary in the paper and cross out the phone book. Yeah. Whereas we used to just get a new one delivered to our doorstep. So what's the point? Here we go. I was about 7 or 8 when I used to play with this girl that lived a few houses down and across the street. I live in a cookie cutter. What does that mean? Is that an area? Oh, it must be like a close rather than like a street.
Oh,
must
so
be like an
that's
area.
probably what they call like what you call
Yeah,
it?
I live in a cookie cutter.
Cul-de-sac.
Very safe, fairly decent. That's the word I was trying to think of. Very safe and fairly decent neighbourhood across the street from the high school. But her mother never let us play outside because there could be a drive-by. Any car we saw could be someone with a gun and could very easily shoot us and kill us. She also never let us play in the living room near the windows for the same reason. Another time I was over there playing with my friend and the mum pulled me aside. She pointed to a truck she saw parked outside my house on the curb, my uncle's truck. She told me it was actually probably a burglar and he was inside my house killing my family at that moment. She wouldn't let me go home either for the fear of me also getting killed. She finally let me go home after my mum called later and requested I come home for dinner. That family is still crazy now, even 13 years later.
Yeah, that's fucking up there. That is well up there.
Yeah, fucking. But doing that to your own kids is one thing, but another kid and telling him his family, that van outside your house, that truck's probably a burglar in your house killing your family. That's like an incredibly paranoid mother.
Yeah, that's
really.
It's not living.
That's going to give you fucking nightmares. And they wouldn't let him leave. Oh.
That's bordering on kidnap.
Yeah, fucking hell. That is fucking. Yeah, that is bordering on kidnap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God! A friend of mine is a house appraiser in New Jersey. He walks into the living room of one particular client's house, and there was a glass coffin in the living room, the body of a woman preserved inside, like linen.
What the fuck?
The guy says it was his mother. My friend said it was the fastest he'd ever appraised the house in his entire career.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. That is a bit... Oh, God. Okay,
Too
I've
much.
just seen the last
Too
line of
much.
this one. The last line of this one just says, I never went back to Gary's house, so I'm intrigued to read this one. I went to a guy's house once after school. I wasn't friends with him, but we were assigned to a project together. We'll call him Gary. Anyways, we were working on this project when he excused himself to use the restroom. 15 minutes later, he returned. A little while later, I decided to use the restroom where he was making snacks. I walked into the bathroom, and behold, before my eyes, floating like a mantine through the brown... What was a result of Gary's earlier bathroom excursion? Right, so the shit was still there. I shrugged it off. I mean, we all forget at least once. I flushed for him, took a leak, flushed again, and went back to the project. Gary's mum gets home a couple of hours later. She nods to us and says hello politely before heading towards the back of the house. A few seconds later, she returns to the kitchen where we were working and screams, "Where is it?" I jump and I'm confused. So I shoot her what the fuck look to Gary. Gary muttered, "It wasn't me, it was..." The name of the guy telling the story. That's literally what it says here. His mum glared at me, huffed and walked out. Gary later explained that every day after school he would take a dump and was required to leave it in the toilet so his mum could check it when she got home. He wasn't even sick or anything. She just wanted to check to make sure he was healthy or something. So I never went back to Gary's house.
That is fucking weird. That is so weird. Why are parents like this?
And being so angry that it wasn't there. Where is it?
Yeah. Where is your shit?
I like looking through shit. I can't believe it's not there.
That's fucking peculiar, man.
That is peculiar.
These are the reasons that people need to be like have a license to have children. I'm sorry. These are the exact reasons. And just like, just a few more questions here on your license thing. At any point during the child's growing years, will you be asking them to shit so that you can investigate it? I will be doing that. Yes. Okay. Well, your license is revoked. You will not be having any children or adopting any. Which then pushes them to public toilets, I guess. They're just like, can I just check your shit?
Yeah. Please, let me just have a little rummage through.
Let me just have a little rummage through your shit. Please don't tell me she fucking picks it up and
Probably.
picks it
She
up.
must inspect it. I don't know. Or just glare. Oh, very nice. Yes.
Was it what was the diet show with that fucking little scrawny Scottish woman?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And she would make them do a shit in a box.
Yeah.
She'd just stick her face in the box and be like, and she's just like, this stinks, and it's just like, yeah, it's shit.
Oh,
like,
God,
what do you want? Like,
Yeah.
what do you want?
I can't believe this stinks of shit.
Yeah, I can't believe how disgusting this is. And you're just like, well, yeah, that's the exact. It's not supposed to be nice.
It's not
I'm
supposed
sorry.
to be that.
What would you like me to do? Present you with a nice bolognese instead? Like, what's your end game here, love?
What's your end game here?
That's a scat fiend right there. That's what she was.
Right, this is the last one I'm going to do here. Okay. I got to know this one dude in junior high school through a mutual friend, and he seemed like a pretty cool guy. So I went to his house a couple of times to play video games, ride bikes, etc. I met his parents, who seemed kind of different. I couldn't put my finger on it until we were playing games one day, and his dad stepped in front of the TV and said, "Well, this is weekly family porn night. We always let one of the kids pick out a video from the store and we watch it together. Do you want to stay longer?" Even though I was a young boy, that was just too much for me. I thought of him, his sister, his parents all watching porn together, and it freaked me out, so I didn't stay.
No.
I mean, it kind of feels like there's an outside possibility that Dad was just making a joke.
Yeah,
but,
that could be a very much a dad joke.
Yeah.
But also, if it wasn't, that kid never comes back, and they're just like, "How come we don't see that kid anymore?" And the dad's like, "Oh, I told him we have a family porn night."
Yeah.
What? Like, it's just like, I'm not inviting him back now. Like, he thinks we have a family porn night. It's incredibly awkward.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, I've told the story before when I a couple I knew when I was, God, I must have been 18, and he was older, and his wife, not older like older, but I was probably 18. They were probably in their 30s. She might have been in her late 30s, early 40s. And even though she was married to my friend who I worked with, she made it very clear she wanted to have sexual relations with me. And I'd always, discard her advances. But I remember being around there, and they both put a porn on while I was there. I remember it was called Flying Fist, I think it was called. And I remember it was a really cheap, shitty one, like a really an opening. It was a really shitty animated fist with like a Union Jack behind it fly past. It was like da, 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 Flying Fist or whatever, and I was like, what the fuck is this? It was like a bad porn as well. It wasn't even a good one. Well, so I was out there pretty quick and never went back. Cut them out my life pretty quick.
I miss like hard formats of porn. I think it's a forgotten age.
This, yeah.
It's a forgotten age.
It is a forgotten age.
Yeah.
We've definitely covered that multiple times, the old forgotten age of
I love it, right?
Hardcore physical porn.
So obviously, do you remember the episode that we did with Ellie, and it was like porn and
pops up all the time.
Sex porn. I was going to say at least once a week I get a notification on my phone saying so and so has liked an episode, and it's
always
that
Indian.
episode.
Always Indian as well. Well, always Indian. Always like that episode on Facebook.
It's so good, and you know what they've just done is they've just typed in porn on Facebook.
And that's come up.
Like...
They're wanking over your artwork.
They're not even listening.
This is great.
Yeah, they don't even get. They've
God, I didn't know you could find porn so easily.
They muted it because they don't know what we're saying.
It's a shame they're talking. It's a shame they're talking over it.
Oh dear, it's so good.
Fucking hell.
It's funny.
So there we go. I don't think before we move on quickly from the list of weird things we've seen families do, I'm trying to think if I've ever encountered anything like that, apart from obviously that couple putting on a fucking porno. They had 2 kids. They were asleep in the bedroom, I think. I think I have encountered. I mean, you encountered different traditions and what have you, and routines and stuff, but like nothing like I've ever been like, oh, they're weird. That's a weird. I'm not going around there. That's a weird thing to do.
I think the weirdest, just off the top of my head that I can really think of is I went over to a friend's house. It was I made a new friend whilst I was in secondary school, and I went back to his house after school and stayed for dinner. And we were presented dinner, lovely dinner, and then they were just like, "Do you want a drink?" And I was like, "Yes, please." And they just brought out a mug of tea. And that was peculiar to me. Everyone had a cup of tea with dinner, and I was just like, "What the fuck is going on there?" Like, I don't like hot drinks. I don't.
Did they ask you if you wanted a tea?
At no point did someone say, "Do you want a tea or coffee?"
Right.
Yeah, or I just said, "Would you like a drink?" And I was like, "Yes, please," thinking I'd get like a squash or something.
Yeah, a glass of water or something.
Yeah, even that. But no, I got a glass of water, but it was heat and soiled with tea.
Thanks.
That was slightly peculiar. I can't think of anything else really that I.
No, nor
really
can I. And I had been, because I knew I was going to do this today, so I had been thinking all day if I'd come across something like that myself. But
Yeah.
I mean, you hear other stories of other families and stuff, but no, nothing I've really witnessed myself that I can think of. There were a few, like, I always found, and obviously without opening a can of worms here, I did find some of the families that were quite religious a bit weird being in their house.
Yeah.
You know, ones that really were religious and would like talk about Jesus a lot, and there'd be pictures of Jesus everywhere, and they would pray and say great, things like that, and and you weren't, obviously you had to watch swearing or saying God or Jesus, like
Yeah.
Those ones I always found, I wouldn't say it's weird, you can be religious, but I just found it uncomfortable to be in the environment when it's so everywhere, but it's their home, so you can't really moan about them.
I know, what are you going to do? Like, can you take that down please in your own home?
Yeah.
Can't do that, not these days.
No, the only thing I ever requested at someone's house, my friend Philip Double, he was my best friend when I was in junior school, they had a really scary painting of a fucking clown above their stairs, and its eyes, I swear, used to follow me, and I used to get I used to generally get scared, I was really fucking
that.
scared.
And it's not so much the painting.
They had to cover it with a blanket.
It's not the painting, it's not the painting that is, but it's the placement. It's the placement of it.
Yeah.
So I used to go to a dentist in Weybridge, right? There was a point in my life where I had a tooth growing through my gum that wasn't in line with like the rest of my teeth, and they were just like, it was one of those scenarios where it's like, oh, we can, if you have braces, it will like over like 2 years it will correct and go, it will join the rest of your teeth, or you can just have it pulled out. And I was like, cool, we'll take it out then. But I had to go to this particular place, and it was in Weybridge, and it was this kind of, classic dentist. It used to be a house or fucking whatever. But there was, so you'd go, there was a bunch of dentists downstairs, and then you'd go upstairs, and there was a waiting room, and it was all really, I remember it all being really, really dated, but I was still like, 14, 15 at the time. And then there was this other set of stairs, and it just leads up. I never went up them, because at the top of there was a massive, massive mouth, grinning, with like eyes on it, and it was this character.
Oh my God.
And it was just at the top of this stairs, and I was just like, I am never going up there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because I would go upstairs, because Philip Fool's room, and I used to sleep over there quite a lot, because to go after school, like I was around there a lot.
Yeah.
But because it was, you would see it coming up the stairs, and if you look back, you wouldn't see it. But you would see it going down, but because it was upstairs, you would see it out of any room you walked out of from upstairs. It would just be there. And they had to start covering up with a blanket. I literally used to cry, like I was that scared of it.
That is horrific placement. That
like,
is terrible.
Really scary.
That is awful. You have to look at that shit whilst you got, no.
Yes.
Not happening.
Well, let's keep things nice and light and jolly as we move on to Darkest Story of the Week, which you sent me.
I did, yeah. This fucked me up, dude. This is fucked up. And we covered one of this recently. When you sent this to me, I was like, oh, we've already covered this. But then I realised it was in England, because the last one we did was in America. And I think we might have covered a couple of those that have happened in America like this. But this is one of the first times I think I'm aware of it happening like in London. Yeah.
Was it London?
Romford. No, Romford is Essex.
Yeah, Romford's not London. So yeah, but it's in England.
Or Kent.
And obviously this obviously brings in a lot about grief and bloody mental health. But just as witnessing this must have been horrendous.
Fucked.
So
like,
let's
absolutely.
Go.
Like I couldn't.
Let's go over what it was. Grieving Joan Catherine Turnell, then 77, had kept the body of her daughter Tracy in her flat in Leighton for over a year before she was discovered and inquest heard. Neighbours had been complaining of horrendous smells and fly infestation. When the housing association workers turned up to the property, Joan refused to let them in, so they followed her into the high street on November the 7th, 2023. Joan was pushing her dead daughter Tracy in a wheelchair wrapped in a red coat. The workers said they noticed a vile smell and called the police. Officers stopped her for a short time later and found her daughter's heavily composed body, according to the Romford Recorder. At an inquest into... This is on LBC, by the way, this story. At an inquest into Tracy Turnell's death, held on Tuesday, January 28th, Mr. Iveen said Joan had severe mental health problems and had been sectioned under the Mental Health Act. I mean, that will do it. Pushing a decomposing child through. A statement from Joan to the coroner read, "I kept Tracy with me because I couldn't bear to part with her. I loved her too much," which is fucking heartbreaking.
Fucking sad.
Joan denied causing her daughter's death. And in a statement said, "I do not know what caused my daughter's death." That's a bit of a twist. In her statement about the day Tracy died, Joan described how they'd been watching a film together. When it ended, she attempted to speak to her daughter but got no response. She says she believed her daughter had died over a year earlier, around September 2022. They were unable to identify the cause of death. Joan was never prosecuted for preventing the burial of her daughter's body. That is fucking just heartbreaking.
It's so
sad,
grim. Like,
messed up and grim. But there is a bit of a... Yeah, the cause of death is a bit concerning, not knowing what that was. But, yeah...
It's so... Like, I can't even think of anything funny about it to make even say. Like, it's fucked. Like, I read it and I was just like, I don't know what I would do witnessing that in that situation. Honestly, that would spin me out.
Yeah, no, even thinking about that spins me out. Doesn't say... Didn't say how old the daughter was, though.
No, yeah, I think
so
it was...
I mean, imagine if she's 77, so she must have been, probably in her 50s or maybe older herself, the daughter.
Maybe.
So yeah, it could have been a... God, that's a big body.
Yeah.
Of a that's an adult body.
Like, yeah, and just I guess to had it in a wheelchair, or unless she's just got it in a trolley, just like a shopping trolley.
Oh, that is an adult fucking
fucked.
body.
Like,
Jesus
it's
Christ.
absolutely fucked. What do you even do as like any person approaching that situation?
Yeah.
Police or otherwise. Like, what the fuck? Like.
Yeah, that is pretty fucking... Yeah, that's grim as
spun
fuck,
me,
actually.
Yeah, that has spun me out and given me plenty to think about.
That's grim as fuck. Yeah, that's made me feel uncomfortable.
I don't want to draw that for the episode.
No, I don't think you should either. No. I mean, there's multiple things you could draw. You could draw any of these family ones. You could do us bloody... knocking multiple plates off the wall, or bloody...
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that, or something. Yeah, plates.
Whatever
you're wearing, I don't know, a blanket made of cat fur.
Was there any other weird ones that we covered on that story of the
I like the cat.
So they were all weird.
The cat
hair one,
but
that might be a bit underwhelming to draw.
That's alright, I'll just do various bodies of cats all sewn together.
Oh, great. Great.
Which
Fantastic.
somehow seems better than a 77-year-old woman wheeling around a dead corpse.
Yes, I would probably say that might be a...
Doesn't it make you think, though, like, how many times has she taken that body out
Well,
for a
yeah,
walk?
you do wonder, yeah. But obviously, it'd been over a year, they reckon, so I can't... God, I don't even know what would have been left by that point.
It must have been awful. It must have been
actually,
fucking
maybe...
terrible.
Oh, I was thinking maybe we go with Family Porn Night would be a good episode title.
Family Porn Night.
Yeah, I don't know what that would involve, but that sounds like it could be a good title. Anyway, you let me know.
I can make something for that. I think
Family Porn Night would be a good one. And then we'll get loads of likes all the time.
That's a good point. Yeah, there you go. Update
Exactly.
it. Oh my god, they've done another
one. Great.
We haven't. This is some of the worst things you will hear.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what? I wrote that down so I wouldn't forget it, and my spelling changed. My auto spell changed it to Family Pork Night, which kind of works as well.
Worse somehow.
But yeah, Family Porn Night. We'll stick to that one.
Oh dear.
Right, pull it back slightly more upbeat than death and wheeling around bodies. Yeah, that messed up.
I was I can make it happy. I've been listening to a lot of pop punk recently. That's happy. There you go.
There you go. That is happy. I hear a lot of that with Indiana in the car. That's her playlist. Right, slightly short episode, but I think we covered a lot that episode there.
Yeah, we got this. We went in some directions. It's all right.
Yeah, there were some directions, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks with next episode 250.
Big time.
Big
number. A big
episode
number.
250. We'll try and see what we do for that. Maybe some little upbeat party episode. Who fucking knows what we'll do? We'll figure something out. Episode 250 coming up next.
Yeah.
Everyone, thanks for listening. I have been Greg. Let me examine your turd in the toilet, Armstrong.
Shame. Shame. I don't know. I've been Joe.
So much to use.
I'm overwhelmed by it. We mentioned everything at the end that I was going to use. I was going to be like...
Yeah, so exactly. It should be fresh.
Yeah, it's true. But I can't just rehash it. They're just like, oh, you mentioned it. Actually mentioned it last 5 minutes. I don't know. I've been Joe. 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 I don't know. Down it, you shit, Jackson.
There you fucking go. Peace!
Deal!
You've been listening to The All Seen Guys with Greg and Joe, where Greg probably had some kind of list, and Joe most likely went for a piss 5 minutes before the end. If you hear this, it means that Greg hasn't sorted an outro yet. So maybe just imagine some music here, because honestly, that's all I actually wanted. Okay, bye.